Have you created KDP colouring in books? Have you ever wondered what the quality of those pages might be like for the customers who are purchasing your colouring in books? In today's video, I'm going to try out a variety of different mediums on the colouring in pages of a KDP book that I have created so that you have the answers to those questions. If this is something that you're interested in, then please stick around. For the purposes of this video today, I'm going to use a colouring book that I have created and that I've since changed. So this one is changed in the way of its cover and also its internal pages. However, the paper quality has not changed at all, and for whatever reason this book was printed with some spare pages in the back, so I'm going to use those spare pages in the back as a little bit of a demo, so just don't mind this. This was like a previous video where I was trying some stuff out. So let's pop on down to the piece of paper this time. So what I'm going to use is just a variety of different kind of pens and tools and things that you might have in your stash that you may or may not choose to colour your books in with. But I thought it'd be interesting to try all the different pens and markers as well as the colouring in pencils, just to see what ghosting and any kind of bleed through might look like on these pages. So let's go through each of these, do a little bit of a swatch on one page, and then we'll flip it over for the grand reveal, shall we? So let me pop you around so that you can see the page that I'm working on. So this is the colouring in book here, and we've got, like I said, this spare page in the back. So let me flip through to that, and let's try and swatch out some different pencils, shall we? Let's start with the Prismacolor pencils. So if you colour with these, you'll be very familiar with them. This one's a bit blunt, but anyway, let's try. And I'm just going to, actually I might even flick you around to the opposite side. You might be able to see a bit better that way. Hang on a second. I don't have enough of an angle on this tripod, so hopefully you'll get an idea, but I will give you a close-up toward the end. All right, so I'm just going to press pretty hard, and we'll call this one Prismacolor. So let me just use a normal pen for this one. So this is just your normal everyday Bic pen. So Prismacolor pencils. Alright, so that's number one. Next one, let's try a Tombow marker. Okay, or Tombow marker, whichever way you want to say it. And let's do just the one side. You get the idea with the ink. So Tombow. Okay, that's the next one. The next, I better put them over here so I know what I'm up to. Crayola. Now, Crayola is generally, if you're going to use a marker, it'd be something in this sort of realm of tools, particularly for kids colouring in books. I'll just go over it a couple of times, and that is Crayola. So just a Crayola texta or marker. Next in the kit, I have these calligraphy pens. They're pigment ink, they're water-based. So let's try, see what that does on the page. So that is the calligraphy pigment ink. Some of you may have these. These are Copic multi-liners. You probably wouldn't colour in with these, but you might use them in things like journals. So this one is a Copic or a Copic multi-liner. A Micron. So these are archival ink as well, a pigment ink. So that's a Micron pigment ink. Like I said, I just went through my stash and I found these Stampin' Up! Right markers. Now these are also water-based dye inks. So let's try the water-based dye ink. So water-based dye ink. A graphic fine liner. This is a Monty or a Montmartre graphic fine liner. So Montmartre, graphic finelighter, we did a Tombow. That one's just a black one, so I won't do the black. Here we have got just a office. We have Officeworks here, and they have a brand called Born Brand, and this is a type of alcohol marker. So let's do the alcohol marker. So that's Horn alcohol marker. And just because I have got a, come on. You know, you can just press it down, I know that. For those people who hate that. All right, here it is. This is a Posca. In case you want to get all decorative in your books, so a Posca marker. Whoop, Posco marker. And just to make things interesting over here, let's see. Whoop, that did make it interesting, didn't it? I think the alcohol marker went flying across the room, but that's all right. We're here. Everything's okay. All right, let's go. And you might say, well, why are you doing this? This is gouache, by the way. One I'll let dry out in the pan, but I can use it as watercolor for later. Sometimes I actually just do like using watercolor in coloring books. Crazy, I know. I mean, it's right out there, but it's sometimes nice just to go over coloring books using watercolors. So that is the watercolor. So let's call that gouache watercolor. So gouache. Okay, watercolor paint. So we've got quite a selection there. I'll put that back to the side. I'll try not to totally destroy the house next time I'm moving things around. Right, blow off all the bits. So now we are up to the next bit, which is to have a look at these. So we've got all those different colours that I've put down, ranging from alcohol to pencils to just do normal pens. Actually, I didn't do normal pens, so let's just do up here. I'm just going to go normal big pen, which is kind of what that is. So let's have a look at the next page, shall we, and see what happens, because I know that I would have had a bit of bleed through. Oh, look at that. It's the alcohol marker. Left a stain. Of course, it's going to leave a stain, because that's what alcohol markers do. So definitely the alcohol marker came through. The other thing that came through was the water-based dye ink. So this was the Stampin' Up! Water-based dye ink. And up the top here a little bit, we have, I'll just put you over to the light. I'll bring it over to the light a bit more. No, yes. There we have the Tombow marker, definitely came through. The normal pen, the pencil, you can see a little bit of ghosting there. You can see a little bit of ghosting with these other markers that I had in the middle. What one was that one? That was the Montmartre, the Posca, and the watercolor. Tiny fractional bit of ghosting there. So as you can see, the alcohol, the Tombow, and also the water-based dye ink, definitely there is some spill through with that. And if you are creating colouring in books for people here on Amazon KDP, you need to be very mindful of this, in that when you are setting up your pages, that you are setting up with the colouring page on the one side. The KDP doesn't like, or Amazon doesn't like, that you have all these blank pages in your books. So another way, sorry, that was the other one. See, alcohol marker lost on that one too. The other thing that you can do is, like I've done in this flowers book that I've created, is I have put in a black page. So I'll put a little bit of a flower quote there. Obviously, if someone were to colour underneath that bit, you'd see that through the quote. But the black helps for just those mild ghosting issues that you might see on this page here. So it's definitely not going to help with your Tombow, your water-based dye ink, or the alcohol, but it will stop you from seeing those other things come through the page, which could for some people, and probably most people, it does look a bit ugly if you're flicking through your colouring book and you're seeing all the bleed through on those pages. So there you go. If you're wondering about quality in a colouring book through KDP and what you can and can't use on those pages, I think that's pretty standard. In fact, I would argue that I could use any colouring in book and try these out and I would have a similar response. In fact, I have a colouring in book. Let's test that out, shall we? Okay, so this is a colouring in book that I purchased from Kmart. I won't show you the title, so I don't want to get in trouble for that. But what I will like to do is I might take out our three danger zone ones. Now they were, I call them danger zone, they were the Tombow, they were the pigment, water-based pigment dye, and the other one was the alcohol marker, which I'll just go and pick up because it's flung across the floor. There we go. So let's see if these three are going to have that same effect on this colouring in page. All right, now this is not a KDP book. This is just a colouring in book that was picked up at Kmart. So let's try the Tombow first. I won't colour in too much, I'll just pick out a section. Oh no, I've gone outside the lines, don't you hate that? That's okay, so that's the Tombow. Let's fix that up with putting this one in here. I'll just colour in the jewel in the 3 different shades of red that I've got there. In fact, it makes it a bit hard. I'm trying to angle out with the video. So there we go. Hide the bit I'm messed up on. Okay, so that one's the Stampin' Up. So that's the Tombow, the Stampin' Up. And then let's try the alcohol marker. I'm going to put the alcohol marker all the way down on this one, to this whole side. Alright, now just to be fair, I will take the Crayola, get the lid off it, put the Crayola in here, and let's do one more. What have we got? Maybe just the normal pencil. There we go. And then we'll do a little bit of a flick over. Okay, I am putting that pencil down hard. So there we go. This is just a little one because I want to make a huge video today. So that's the colours. So we've got the Tombow, the Stampin' Up, the alcohol, the Crayola, and also a normal pencil. So let's flick across to this next part. Oh, look, there we go. All right, alcohol marker, just all the time, but no other bleed through on these pages. So obviously with the KDP books, you are going to have that shadowed ghost, they call it, effect on those pages. Hence the black backing. These books, however, won't have any problem with that because you will have the thicker paper. In fact, this almost feels a little bit like heavyweight card, to be honest, which is not accessible through KDP. That's why they can have things on either side of the paper, because I don't need to worry about that. So there you go. A little bit of a test. I'm going to stick with this. I'm pretty happy with this, and I know that having that backing on. So there you go. If you are creating colouring in books for KDP and you're a little bit worried about the quality, or you wanted to know exactly what it was like, hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight. This is certainly not going to discourage me from creating colouring books, because apart from the one I just showed you that I got from Kmart, I have used other colouring books from other publishers, not KDP, where there has been considerable bleeding coming through on the pages, and they have had images doubly on each end of the page. So you had to pick you're flicking through the book and you go, oh, there's a page, there's a good one on that one, there's a good one on that one, oh, which one am I going to choose? That's never a good option, but you don't need to do that with the KDP books. What I've seen most authors do who are creating books like this is keep one image to a page. That is why it has a lot to do with the paper quality. I hope that's helped you a little bit today in being able to understand the quality of the books. If you have any other questions about KDP books that perhaps I haven't answered on this channel, by all means pop it in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. Keep creating your books, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.